Okay, so today, uh, please confirm if you guys can see this. Everyone can see it?
Yes, we are able to read.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so now today we'll talk about, we'll break down the components for SCCM. The one of the finest piece is client installation. Okay, so we'll talk about the infrastructure and how the architecture is defined. We'll focus more on the topics which are mention in the next slide. Okay, so agenda would be we'll be talking about the introduction of client. We'll talk about the agent-based architecture. What are the deployment methods available in SCCM and client management point discovery, and they'll look for the logs. Okay, so uh, this is first we'll talk about the agent-based architecture. So this is where SCCM operates using the agent-based architecture means when there is a client which is installed on each target device, that is how SCCM can communicate. Okay, so this what this agent does, this facilitates the communication in between client and the SCCM server. Okay, so if you're doing any management task and if you want to do it remotely, definitely you require a client. Okay. Second thing, uh, second one would be the communication. Communication wise, when you have client, you can check the site. Like these clients can connect to the sites periodically and they can send their information like they are healthy, they're not healthy, or they are corrupted or whatever. Okay, and also this agent allows sending the receive policy updates that yes, we are getting the policy from management point. Okay, and also these clients sends back the inventory data. Okay, so this inventory data, this communication methods, either it includes HTTP or it includes HTTPS. Okay, as I talked yesterday, HTTP is 80 and HTTPS is 443. So there are various protocols also like bits and all, which helps you to optimize the data transfer more efficiently. Okay, then when we say centralized management is more about as an IT administrator, if you are managing plethora of devices over the internet, then you want a centralized console. Okay, so this centralized console as an SCCM helps you to more in sense of deploying software, monitoring compliance, managing devices, and etc. Okay, so if the client is there on the devices, you can perform these tasks easily. Then software deployment. So SCCM can help you to install and update and remove the software applications from any client machines or devices in one or in a bulk manner as well. So as an administrator, like every SCCM team, there are two portions, one who does the packaging and one who does the deployment. So administrators who are there to create the packages, okay, they can also do the deployment. They can also schedule the deployment, okay, ensuring that this software is available at certain time and up to this date across the network. For example, if I want a software that I want to install on this weekend from late evening, maybe 10 p.m. to early morning 4 o'clock. So I can do that by scheduling the deployment task. Okay. Then patch management. Patch management is the crucial one. Today I'm not using my mouse. So patch management, where your SCCM automates the process of managing updates. Okay. If your client is there and is healthy, and if there is any uh, patch which has been rolled out from Microsoft, it goes and sync with SCCM, and then it goes to the devices, it scans those devices, and then it identifies what are the missing updates. Okay, when SCCM client receives the information from management points that these are the updates which are to be deployed on the devices. So these clients checks those missing devices and they sends the information that okay, fine, these devices or these patches are not available. So management it takes those patches and then it installs to the systems. So why this patch management is required? So it will help you to keep your system secure and compliant. Okay. Next is configuration management. Again, so SCCM helps to enforce configuration settings. There are various settings that you can configure for your client devices, uh, so that you can ensure there is a consistency, there is a compliance metrics which are met, and it is also meeting the organizational standards. Okay, so as a administrator, what I can do, I can configure security baselines, I can do the software metering, maybe I can configure, and I can do the other configuration. For example, I want to configure a battery setting. Okay, so I want my laptops to automatically save the power or save the battery. So from this time to this time, whatever power management you want to define, you can do that from this. Okay. Now inventory tracking. Inventory tracking is something, it is more about your hardware and asset or maybe software assessment within your organization. So if you want to know like what are the softwares which are installed, what are their software versions, and what is the hardware specification, what is the is it quad core or 8 core, what is the RAM, and all those configuration details you can pull it up. And you can also identify through the software, like through the tracking, you can also identify what is the license compliance, how many licenses are being used, and what way you can save the costing of organization. Okay, so this is your inventory tracking. So inventory tracking is, I mean, most of the organization they use it. Okay, to save the costing. And remote management, again, when we're taking the remote access of, for example, if I'm troubleshooting something on one of the user's machine and he just shared the screen, but I want to take the remote and I want to check something on his machine. So this remote management enables us to take the access of client machine and do the troubleshooting for any or maybe any assistance that is required. Okay, so sometimes you require like one of the machine, you just need to do troubleshooting, you need to do a system reboot and all. So you can utilize this method. Okay, so the remote management. uh, Last is compliance and reporting. So since SCCM used in a such a bulk and in the robust and it's very complex environment, so you are very much uh, focused on identifying the reporting features, looking for the compliance, and looking for the regulatory requirements. So with this compliance and reporting, you can generate reports, you can identify on the what is the software usage, maybe based on the software usage you can also create a report, you can look for the compliance status, you can look for the update deployment status and many more. So lots of things you can utilize using this compliance reporting. Okay, so in nutshell, this is a very comprehensive solution as in client, which is coherent with your agent-based architecture. So including this, you can do all sort of management task, which is from a single console. You don't need to worry about patch management, configuration management, inventory tracking, or other compliance related reporting stuff. Okay, and you can also do the security assessment. You can also run the reports to identify whether your devices are secure across over the network. So all these stuff you can do it from here. Okay. Now let's talk about SCCM client. So SCCM client is nothing, it's just a tiny software component which is designed by Microsoft System Center Configuration Manager. Okay, so as I talked, this is to facilitate device management, your software distribution engagement, your security updates on all on devices. So this software looks like something this. Okay, Software Central. So everyone who's using like enterprise laptop, you will see this software center already there on your system. Okay, so I'll show you know I mean, I think I already shown it, but I'll show it after that, after some time. Okay, so this is this is a tool that communicates between your client device to your SSM server. Okay, so you can do the infra management very easily. Okay, now we'll talk about agent installation. How does this work? And there are two ways which I have captured. One is manual, and another one is client push. There is one another which I try to integrate with the GPU, uh, but uh, we'll focus on these two first. GPU I have already there, but let's see. So one first thing when you're doing site server setup means where you have your SCCM client is installed. Okay, so this is where our SCCM client is installed. So you go to C drive, program files, and configuration manager folder. Under that, you will have CMU client. Okay, so this is where you have all sort of what do you say? This is the path where you have all the CCM setup. This this is the application. This is it resides here. Okay. So now when you're going to install it, for example, I was doing this on one of my what I say, one of my management point. Okay, so I had one switch that I simply used. Okay, I first of all I did cd, okay, change directory to this CMU client. Okay, and then I did a CCM setup. Okay, and slash install. This is very plain and in a normal text. Okay, I did not do any switches and all, but in the second prompt, if you see, there are multiple switches or there is multiple parameters that has been used, okay, to complete this installation. Okay, so first we'll neglect this switches. We'll talk about the plain installation. So when you go to this folder, you can also, like, if you are on a device or some DCs, and if you want to install this, so you can simply go to this particular folder on the network and you can run slash install. So when you do this installation, when you hit the enter button, this is what happens when you go to task manager. When task manager, you can see that yes, in detail ccm exact.exe this has run. Okay, and it takes 5 to 10 minutes, approx, to complete. Once it's there, you can check that is in the log. Okay, this is the log. When you on the same wait a second, on the same device, when you go to C drive, when you go to Windows, and when you go to ccm slash logs, and then you look for the ccm setup.log. I will show that on my machine in shortly. So when you see this, you can see that this is the log, and this is where it shows that yes, download has completed and success was created. This is a CCM setup service, and this has successfully completed. Okay, it says here successfully completed the CCM setup service, which means that yes, this is successfully ran. And now this is where it shows that yes, software center is installed, means that SCCM client is installed. And if you go to configuration manager properties, it shows also that yes, this is installed. So, okay, let me do one thing. Let me show here. Okay, control. Okay, so if you can see this configuration manager, okay, this is showing me that yes, my SCCM client is installed. Okay. First thing, it is on the PKI client certificate. Co-management is enabled. This is I'm talking about the internal our company's configuration. Okay. Then what components they have enabled on the server. Okay. So what things it can take check. Okay, you can do the hardware inventory fetch, power management, okay, remote management tools, software distribution, and software inventory, software metering, all those stuff, and software update agents, all task sequence for operating system deployments. Everything is configured on the site server level. Okay, and action wise, it has all the action enabled means this has been completed. This has successfully completed on this machine. But if you go to any new machine, you will not find all these. You will find either one or two these actions. And sometimes these actions or cycles are required when you are pulling the data from your MP. Okay. For example, this machine is not getting the software update. So I can click on this machine policy and I can run on this and I can check for the software update scan and deployment evaluation. Okay. So these thing will hit this machine, this device or this client will talk to the SSM server and it will pull the details, okay, these policies from the SCCM server. And if I just do and click on run now, it will say, okay, the selected cycle will run, might take several minutes. So it takes a couple of minutes and then it runs, okay. Site wise, this is the site, this is the default as Chennai. And if you go to configure settings and all, I don't have rights. I don't think it should work. Okay. So this is not canceling. Okay. So this does not allow me to click anything right now. Okay. It's not liking me, I think. Okay, let's go back. So this is the new install on this machine, and there are only two actions as I talked. And once you have successful installation, you have other things will come. So this was the manual installation. Okay, manual means we did go to command line and we ran these CCM setup, CCM setup, and that has enabled me to install the SSM client. Okay, now when you go to your site system, when you go to administration, when you go to site configuration here, and when you go to sites, you have your site showing here. Okay, so you highlight that site and you go to this option. Okay, so there are two ways. One is software update based client installation, one is client push. So we are talking about the client push installation right now. When you click on this, this window will come up. Okay, so this window, the first thing it says that enable automatic site-wide client push installation. Okay, so you need to click on this. You need to, I mean, this is already by default check, but if not, then you do check it. Okay, and this client installation, it's not just for your computers. You can also do this for your servers, workstation, and your configuration manager site system, where your client, your SCCM is hosted, or where your SCCM is installed. So these things you need to check, okay, for client push installation. Now, uh, this configuration is there. So when you click on apply and when your system, your devices will automatically sync with your uh, your Microsoft SCCM server and will fetch the data, right? Okay. Now, one thing just wanted to show when you have SCCM client installed, okay, so this is something it does look like, okay, like in these three, you can see that there is a green check mark means these machines have the healthy client installed and these machines are online, okay, and also you can see the properties next to all these machines that it shows that the client is active, okay, or if this client is inactive, it will marked as inactive.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Vaibhav, are you sharing something?
mean, I'm unable to watch your screen or something. Anything.
Please rejoin
So
the call. We can see it.
I think it's visible to everyone. That's why I confirmed at initial stage.
Yeah, yeah, okay then. I'll disconnect and connect again.
Yeah, disconnect and connect. Maybe some network issues. Okay. Okay, so I was talking about the client health and how does you identify that the client is installed or not. So if you check on these machines, there is no client installed and there is no activity also, means these machines are inactive or they don't have any internet connection right now. So it takes 2 weeks to identify whether the client is sending the heartbeat to the site server. If there is no heartbeat information, then SSM in 2 weeks it will mark as that the client is unhealthy or maybe is inactive. Okay. Okay. So what I was telling you that for this APP1, I don't see there is any client installed, and then just right click on this from the SCCM console on the devices, and I click on this uh, SCCM sorry, this install client. Okay. So this install client, what it does, it throws you the property window. Okay, this is how it looks like. In this, you can simply read all those information that it is talking about, account settings and all. You click on next. Okay, and then it says that, okay, you want to do the installation, you can just simply click on OK, install this software, client software. This is the headquarter or this is the primary site server where you want to fetch the data or where you want to fetch the client information. And then you click on next and then it says OK, final completion, and then you close it, which means that now this object name, which is as app1, okay, now the trigger has happened and installation of configuration manager client is pushed. Now in some time you will see the client is installed on this particular machine. Okay. Now for from the GPU standpoint, I just captured bit of it. Just will see if I can maximize it. Okay, so if you guys familiar with GPMC, if you are dealing with GPUs, then it will be relevant for you. If you're not, then I would say not to try without any expertise. Okay. Uh, so for this, for example, we have domain. Under domain, we having this. We are just trying to create a particular GPU. Okay. So what you did, okay, you go to this container. Okay. Right click, create a GPU in this domain. Okay. Once you right clicked on it, you will get to see. You can name of that particular, you know, policy that you want to create. Okay, you simply right click on it and choose the edit option. Okay, and once you choose, wait a second, this once you choose the edit option, okay, then you can go to software settings, and from there you can go to software installation. Okay, then you do the right click and choose the package. Okay, from here you can point which package you want to take. Okay, so we'll be taking ccm setup.msi, right? So this is how the first, second, and this is third, and this is fourth. Okay, I'll share the PPT so you'll get to see. Now you'll get this prompt. Okay, uh, click on advanced, click OK, and then go to administrator template, add, remove templates. Click on here and choose add. Then go to the site system server where you have kept these ADMK templates. So usually when you go to tools folder, you will get to see all these these two configuration management ADMK templates files. You can go here, tools, Okay, from here you can choose these two, okay, templates, and you can click on add. Okay, these are the pre-configured templates that are there. You just click on add. Okay, that's it. Once you have these two templates available here, okay, the first one talks more about the first one talks more about the polling cycle and like the days when it will trigger the deployment. Okay, everything. So we are going with the second one. Second one is something this, which is already like it's showing enabled because it was there already enabled. But when you have in your new fresh environment, it will not be showing as enabled. It will be showing as disabled, right? So what you can do, you can click on this and click on enabled. Okay, and this is the your MP, which is your management point. Okay, here it's showing as and log on. I will talk about this log on and what it does, what it says, what it is meaning. Okay, so once you have this, you can simply go to your devices, maybe in your infra. You can open the command prompt and run as admin, and you can do the gp update slash force and just press enter. So what it will do, it will run through the group policies and it will get this SCCM client deployed if it's not available on those machines. And if it's already there, it will skip that. It means it will not do the double deployment. All right. Okay. The last this one is not the GPU, but again coming from the site-wise itself. Now I am in administration and I'm in sites. Okay. Earlier we went here in client push. Okay. Now we'll go to the hierarchy settings. Okay. When you go to hierarchy settings, it will give you this prompt. Okay. This prompt, the first prompt says use a fallback site. So fallback site is why it is needed when your clients are connecting to the site in the hierarchy and when they are looking for the installation, and if there is any sort of issues with the boundary group or there is any assignment issues, so it will automatically take the site assignment from the fallback point. Okay, so this is the fallback point, means this automatically goes to the primary site, fetch the information. Like if like in the lab we did not do the AD schema, we did not extended the schema, but if you have in your production environment, if you have done the AD schema extension from the root directory, then it captures all your primary sites, secondary sites, all the objects and necessary information in that. Okay, so it takes the details from the schema which is extended. Now if you go to the second tab on the same, it will ask you automatically approve. Yeah, you don't need to approve it manually. Why? Because all connected to the trusted domain and which is a recommended feature. Okay, so you choose the first one and choose this option which says automatically resolve conflict records. If there is any conflict or any duplicate hardware or any such things which happens during the installation, so it will automatically uh, take care of it. It will automatically resolve the conflict. Okay, and if there is any untrusted domains and they do not have any PKI, like we said, we checked in our enterprise laptop, there is a PKI certificate already issued, which means that this is more secured. But if it's not secured, if some devices which is not trusted, then it will take uh, precedence of that and it will try to skip those, not to install this. Okay, since those not belonging to our, and those will be in the work groups. Okay. Okay, now as I talked, what is this? Okay, when I was dealing with the other prompt, if you remember. So this is sorry, so this is what happened. Okay, so this is what it says. I'll do one thing. I'll just run through the direct Microsoft page, and if I can show that directly from here. Okay. Okay. Hope you guys can see this. Okay. So when I was looking at, so when you're doing the CCM setup.exe and you do using these switches, so what does these switches says? So this is uh, more about installation with the granular level. Granular means when you're doing a switch says MP means first you are specifying a management point which is named at SMS MP01. Okay, means your clients should know that this this information is coming, or this installation, this client will be tagged to the MP, which is MP01. Okay, and all the distribution lists, all the client information that will be coming from this MP itself. Okay. Now, second one is talked about the logon. So what logon says? Logon means that if you have installation already on this particular device, and if you are again pushing this installation, client installation with a different version, so it will, if the same version, exist, if it's already exist, so it will stop it. Okay, means it will not repeat the installation. If you already have a software center installed with the same version, it will not repeat it. Okay, this is what the logon means. Now SMS site code, which is your primary server site, okay, the one which is assigned to all clients and SCCM server. So this particular switch or parameter says that your client should get assigned the site code as S01, as we had CH on our enterprise laptop. Okay. And the last one is a fallback status point. So fallback status point means if we have extended this schema, and if there is any failure happens in such, maybe failure in sense if it is like installing and there is some network issue happens. Okay, so it will wait for 120 minutes. If it 120 minutes if does not work, it will fall back to SMS uh, FS01 fallback point, and it will take the information from there. Okay, what is my site code, what is the MP and all those. Okay, so it will take the information from there. There are switches which are available. So if you go to ccm setup.exe and you put the slash and put a question mark, you will see there are lots of information. You can, I'll share this link with you guys so you can have a look. This is where you have a metered connection maybe, and you just want to establish, you want to install this, so you can use this switch. Okay, so lots of things. I'll not go in depth in all bits and all. I think you guys should know about it. Like this is for the transfer of content and data, and more of other switches, but we don't use that often. Mostly this logon and MP and FS, that is the root, or that is the base ones that we use majority of the times. Okay, and apart from this, there is nothing much on that. That's it. So you can run through this when I'll share this. Okay, so that is what I have used here. So client management point, when I'm talking about the first thing, CMD line setup parameters means I'm talking about this. Okay, this is you set as a parameter. So uh, you can also bind it with your script. Okay, if you're doing any if you're doing any installation like package deployment or anything, or you're doing any operating system deployment, so you can also push this through a script. You can bind it and you can put that and you can deploy. So once the script is deployed, it will automatically detect whether this client has a version installed or not through the logon. If it's there, if it's not installed, it will use this MP and site code and all, and it will install this. So first, it will do the parameters. Okay. Second one, it will take the information from the extended schema. Okay, so your site code, MP, and all those stuff, it will be taken care by here, and then it goes to DNS SRV. So DNS SRV is something your DNS records. It also checks whether this site data does have proper configuration and your DNS is resolving that site, then it will configure that client installation. Okay, so that's it, and yep, that's it. So I hope this has been informative, and I would like to thank you everyone, each of you, for your time.